Hi everyone, my name is Leila and today I want to show you my top 10 spring fragrances for 2022. By the way, the 4 of today's fragrances at least will perfectly suit to the color of the season, which is I'm wearing today. This is a very pale pastel lavender. If you plan to buy something in this color or you already bought, I think the 4 fragrances from today's collection, at least 4 of them, will perfectly suit that color. So if you're interested, stay with me. I filmed this similar video last year, but this year you will see totally different fragrances. It doesn't mean that I will not wear those from the last year. I will still be wearing them. I just want to show you something else, something different. I want to start with a fragrance that will perfectly suit this color, and this is something that I think will be perfect for the beginning of spring when it's still cold, like the beginning of March, because this fragrance is still quite gourmand and sweet. It's called Guimauve from Reminiscence, from the line Les Notes Gourmande. It's a pale pink bottle, and it's cute. It's really cute. The fragrance, let me spray it. It is so interesting, you know. It is so unique. It has a very interesting combination of green notes, rosemary, tangerine, mandarin, and the lavender and the sweetness of almond mixed with tonka beans, vanilla. It's like creamy. It reminds me somehow an ice cream, a pink ice cream on a cone. It has definitely very gourmand vibes, but it doesn't smell like food, because I think that something in this fragrance is a bit plasticky, but it's a sort of plastic that is very pleasant. It's very interesting, you know. I've never thought that the plastic aspect of the fragrance can be so pleasant. It reminds a doll head. It reminds a newly bought toy, newly bought doll, but at the same time it's so pleasant. It's so soft and fluffy, but it's dense, it's thick. The fragrance itself, it's heavy, it's quite heavy. That's why I think it will be more suitable for the beginning of spring rather than the middle or end. So this is the fragrance that is quite feminine, gourmand, very pleasant. Like, I would say everything that I have from Reminiscence is very interesting, unique, and I wouldn't call them designer fragrances, although Reminiscence is a designer's brand. However, the fragrances they produce are more to the niche side, I would say, and this is one of them. People compare it to Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian's. Some people claim they are very similar. So if you want something similar to Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian's, I tried it, I remember, but it was a long time ago. Frankly speaking, it doesn't matter to me if it's similar or no. At least this fragrance is really pleasant. If you like the type of fragrances like Lilac Love by Amouage, I think they're quite similar. It is also a bit powdery, dense, creamy, gourmand type of fragrance like this. They're not similar because there is a heliotrope here. It's a lavender, but altogether the profile of the fragrances is similar, I would say. Really nice, long-lasting, especially on clothes. Very cozy, very feminine, at the same time a bit fresh because it has some green notes, a little bit of rosemary, mint, and citruses like tangerine, mandarin, but at the same time really sweet, not overly sweet, not sticky sweet, but it reminds some fluffy cotton candy from one side. From the other side, it's definitely like a cone of ice cream, a pink ice cream. And altogether it's very interesting, but at the same time not generic. It's definitely not generic. Really nice one. I'm very happy that I found it. It's interesting that on the bottle or on the box there is no sign, no name that it has in Fragrantica. It doesn't say Guimauve, it only says Le Note Gourmande. That's it. So don't be surprised. I mean, in case if you don't see that name on the bottle or on the box, it's still the same fragrance. The other fragrance that I think also suits this color perfectly will be from Boucheron, and this is Iris de Syracuse. And you can see the color of the, I don't know if you can see that, it's light purple also, like light lavender, light iris color. And the fragrance itself, I love it. It is a bit dusty, powdery, fresh iris mixed with citruses, musk. It is a bit sweet. It has a bit of patchouli as well. But altogether, it is classy. It is young, very young. It's a perfect fragrance for every day when the weather is getting a bit warmer, like I would say in the middle of spring, end of March, the April, beginning of April. It's really airy. It's so sophisticated at the same time. It's so easy to wear this fragrance for every day. It's the fragrance that I didn't buy blindly. I tried it in the mall, and after I came home, my blotter was with me. I couldn't stop sniffing it, and I realized that I must buy this fragrance just because it is so gorgeous and it is so easy to wear. It's long lasting. Being such a fresh, airy type of fragrance, it's still long lasting. Amazing quality, and I think for this price the packaging is really nice. It has a very heavy lid and cap, and the bottle is really nice, and the packaging altogether, it's stunning. So I highly recommend you to try if you like iris, if you like powdery, but at the same time not mature type of powder. I would say this is quite young type of powder. It has a very beautiful sillage, by the way, so nice fragrance. Well, another fragrance that will perfectly suit this color is from Blumarine, and this is Belissima Intense. This is the intense version of the fragrance that I used to wear, like I don't know how many bottles I've finished, something about 8 or 7 years ago. But unfortunately the Blumarine Belissima has already been discontinued and you will not be able to find it anywhere. But Belissima Intense is still available online, and it's quite affordable, I would say. By the way, as well as this one, also really affordable online. Both of these fragrances, like each of them, will cost you around $40, not more than 40. And this one is the mixture of peonies, orchid, heliotrope. It has a bit of sweetness. It's a bit musky. It has citruses on the top, like tangerine. It's a bit gingery, a bit spicy. But it has such a beautiful combination that I cannot call it generic, not at all. I used to, let's say my friend, who unfortunately left already and she lives in Canada, and I miss her a lot, by the way. She gifted me this fragrance on my birthday, not the intense version, just Belissima, and I loved it. I used one bottle, then I bought for myself second one, and I bought a gift set for my sister of this fragrance, and she loved it as well. And I remember I was bathing in this fragrance. I also bought for myself the gift box with a shower gel, with a cream. Like, I loved this fragrance, and I finished every single bottle I bought because it is so feminine, fresh, but not generic at the same time. It is a bit powdery. It is really lightweight type of fragrance. It's very springtime type of fragrance. This one is just more concentrated version of Belissima itself. So people compare it, if you look in the Fragrantica, people compare it to Lipstick Fever from Maison Margiela. I would say, I don't know, because I never tried the other one, but if you read the comments, many say that they are very similar. Nice one. You can still find it online. And by the way, this is not plastic, this is a glass. A very high quality packaging. Another fragrance I will show you today is from Penhaligons, and this is Vaara. I think this is also a perfect spring fragrance if you like rose and queens, and if you want something a bit with just a drop of honey. It's gorgeous. It's really beautiful. It is so fresh, a bit watery, I would say. So it's amazing. It has rose, I think, on the top. It has some orchids, or is it orchid or it's magnolia? I think it's magnolia, yes. But altogether, it's so young, feminine. It's so fresh. It's really unique. I would say it's not generic at all. It lasts long on clothes, not on my skin. But again, I finished the small tester bottle, and then I realized that I need a full bottle. This is 30 ml, and I bought it for a very pleasant price. It was around $35, I think. Altogether, I would say really nice fragrance. It's not old school, it's really young, because it's devoted to, I think, the daughter of Indian Raja, to the very young lady who was 13 or 14 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So altogether, beautiful, really beautiful creation. Highly recommended to try. Another fragrance that will be perfect for this color, that will suit this color perfectly, is from a Ukrainian brand. I spoke about this brand before. It's a niche brand, and I love fragrances they create. This is a new one. It's called Iris Absolue. The brand's name is Neglige. I love the bottle, the packaging, you see the boxes. It's so cute, so nice. And the fragrance is the mixture of peonies and iris, like peony and iris together. The white peonies, the red peonies, the iris roots, and the base of this fragrance is woody. It's like a wet wood. It's nice. It's really, really springtime fragrance. Like, you can feel the spring in this fragrance. And it's quite powdery, yes, of course, because it's iris. It's a bit laundry type of freshness that you can smell here, again, because of the iris, I think. Very natural smelling iris and peonies mixture. It is quite linear, so you will always smell something more or less the same, but it's so pleasant. It's really fresh, it's really airy, it's not heavy at all. It's packed with naturals, by the way, with natural essential oils, and I would say a gorgeous fragrance. I highly suggest you to try if you like Iris, if you like Powdery, if you like Peonies. Like, this fragrance is definitely something in between Peonies and Iris, and it will suit this color perfectly. It's quite long lasting, by the way, as well. Another fragrance from the same brand that I highly recommend in case if you like very natural smelling Narcissus, and I cannot imagine spring without Narcissus. This is the Egoism, it's called Egoism, and this fragrance is all about Narcissus flower. You can also call it daffodils, I think, but you see it's yellow. And the fragrance is definitely yellow, yes. Oh, it's so beautiful. It is the most natural smelling Narcissus I could ever imagine in my life, because I could ever smell in my life. Because it feels like you have a bouquet of Narcissus, like daffodils and the small Narcissus on the stem. When you have many of them, they're white and a little bit of yellow in the middle, but it's like a mixture. If you have a mixture of those yellow ones, like daffodils, and these white ones, the smaller ones, it's amazing. It's gorgeous. It's a little bit indolic. I think the indol is probably from jasmine, because in the base it has 3 types of jasmine. But sometimes when you smell daffodils and you put them very close to your nose, you can smell just a tiny bit of indol, this indolic, a bit animalic aspect, and it leaves this yellowish powder on your nose. It smells like that. Sometimes even honey has that accord, but altogether it's gorgeous. It's a spring in the bottle, I would say. It's a spring in the bottle. It's a bouquet of narcissus and daffodils. Amazing, and a very long-lasting fragrance, and it fills the room. If you have this fragrance on you, you will not feel anything else except this. It's a really egoistic type of fragrance, I would say, indeed. Another beauty that I wanted to show you and to share, this is my recent purchase, and I can't get enough of this fragrance because it's so beautiful. And you know, I'm a huge Chypre fan, and this is Chypre from Floris. This is Edwardian Bouquet. And by the way, this is not an expensive fragrance, but it smells like $1 million to me. This is an old school Chypre. This fragrance was created in 1901, but it smells quite modern to me because it was reformulated, but the reformulation is gorgeous. This is how the fragrances should be reformulated, because this is gorgeous. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. The oak moss is the oak moss that I love. It's not that synthetic mess that you can sometimes smell in the modern fragrances that is called oak moss. No, this is very natural smelling oak moss and patchouli and amber and woods. It has lots of floral notes in the middle. It has ylang ylang, it has rose. It has hyacinth. This hyacinth in the top gives a little bit of bitterness to this fragrance. It's green. It's definitely green. It's like a green stem mixed with the flowers, and it's a bit aldehyde. It has some aldehydes, I think, because when you spray it, you feel a spring, crystal clear air and a huge bouquet of flowers wrapped in a oak moss. This is how I imagine this fragrance. Altogether, I can say it smells really expensive, and it adds some class to your look. If you're wearing, let's say, classical suit, like classic suit, like blazer, trousers, very modern one, it can be even oversized, but at the same time you're wearing heels, not the sneakers. I can't imagine this fragrance with the sneakers. You need to lift yourself up, because to wear this fragrance you should not stand on the ground. You should not be sporty. You should be lifted from the ground, because this fragrance lifts you up. Gorgeous. It's long lasting, really, really long lasting. It has a beautiful sillage, amazing, filled with floral notes again, and green notes, and air, and pieces of crystal in the air. But it's definitely spring. It's like a melting ice, melting snow, and the huge bouquet of flowers thrown on the snow, wrapped in an alchemos. Gorgeous fragrance. And the next fragrance is also about flowers, bouquet of flowers. This is Cartier and this is Carat. Look what a beautiful bottle with all these facets. Really gorgeous. But the fragrance, again, I like all the floral aspect of this fragrance, but I think it's a musk, or I don't know what. But there is some note that bothers me in this fragrance. I smelled the same in La Panthère Edition Soir, in Declaration in the Soir, and I smell the same here. It's the hint of wet fur, and I'm afraid I will not be able to wear this one. Without that particular note, I would say this is a beautiful springtime fragrance, a springtime bouquet, because it has the lots of flowers, because the idea of this fragrance is to reflect the beauty of the diamond and all the colors of diamonds, refraction in represented by flowers in this fragrance. And the fragrance that the perfumer have chosen were indigo, blue, yellow, red and orange color, and she has chosen the hyacinth, mimosa, ylang ylang, tulip, lily and honeysuckle, I think. So it's a beautiful bouquet. It's quite fresh again. You can smell the crystal clearness in this fragrance as well. It's nice. It also is really associated with the springtime, but this note in the base, and I don't know what is that reminds me of the wet fur, turns me off from this fragrance, but it's nice. If you try it in the store and you like it, I think this is a perfect fragrance for springtime. The next fragrance is about rose, and this is very fresh rose. It's spring rose, it's summer rose, it's gorgeous. This is Rosa Mosseniga by Merchant of Venice, and by the way, the bottle is really pretty. It's so beautiful. It has roses patterns on it, and this rose is really, really fresh. Oh, so beautiful. It has rose in the base, in the top notes, in the heart and in the base, and this rose is a bit jammy, but it's like a bit sweet, but it's very fresh. It has lots of bergamot, but it has also lots of watery aspects, like watery notes. I think probably it's because of the pink lotus. It has pink lotus. So altogether, this is really nice, also girly, very feminine, very young, fresh type of rose with a beautiful sillage. It doesn't last long, but for some reason this particular fragrance is not in this size, is not expensive at all. Online I purchased it for something around $40, which I think is a decent price for this fragrance. It's really nice, really airy, really young. It's definitely a spring rose. This is a spring rose. So if you like a very fresh citrusy rose with watery aspects, try this one. Really nice one. And the last for today is my favorite rose. It is white and green rose. This is Balenciaga Florabotanica, and I think it's a very unique type of fragrance. Nothing smells like this. It's a green white rose, I would say. This is a mixture of mint, cannabis, vetiver and rose. A very unique and interesting mixture, and I think this is the best, for me personally, best fresh rose. It doesn't have any hint of sweetness, it's not sweet at all, but it's the best fresh, minty, green, white rose that I have in my collection. So long lasting, it's quite a long lasting fragrance. Being such a fresh rose type of fragrance is quite long lasting, and I love everything about it. It's perfect, and I think it could also suit this color, definitely. I don't know, it's white, but something in this fragrance reminds me, probably because it's cold, it's a bit cold and fresh, that's white, because the color of this, the purple, the lavender, this pale lavender, it's quite cold. It's close to the blue. So this fragrance also reminds me of this color. So I think this is all for today. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, I'll appreciate your support and your thumbs up. If you enjoyed today's video again and you are not a subscriber of my channel, please do subscribe. Don't forget to press that notification bell so you will be notified next time when I release the video. I try to do it every week, every Saturday. And if you are curious to see what new fragrances I purchased before they appear here in the video, I invite you to follow me on Instagram. So I want to thank you again for watching me today, and I hope to see you in my next video next week. Bye.